And we don't have specific numbers on those rescued, but we know that thousands needed to be evacuated. We know that in Boulder County, probably close to 100 today. In Larimer County, probably double that number, and they were hoping to rescue about 300 to 400 by later this afternoon. So a lot of great things, a lot of people with smiles on their faces and their pets, their kids, all of the important belongings that they were able to retrieve back on dry land today.
Ashley Walter standing by now. Ashley, you're there at the airport. You've seen all of these wonderful reunions and the Chinooks getting off and getting back and all the pets coming off. But there's also been, we've gotten a real good look at Left-Hand Canyon now, a first-hand view.
Oh, we sure have. We did send a photographer there, and we'll bring you that here in just a moment. But first, I've received some updated numbers from right here at Boulder Airport, and we know that on these helicopters right here, more than 200 people were evacuated today, more than 100 pets. That means that since all of this started, more than 1,700 have been rescued by military alone, just in Boulder County, by air and by ground. Now, we know that right now these helicopters are sitting on the ground because they are actually formulating a plan for the grid search with those rescuers from the Fort Carson 4th Infantry Division. They're thinking through what they have gathered, all the details, figuring out where they have searched, where they have not searched, to possibly do that grid search starting tonight. Now, as all of this has happened by air, as you said a moment ago, other crews have gone out by land, some of them from other states. So take a look at what we found out today. Prepared but unsure what they will find. They work a database of homes trying to check off the unaccounted. In Fourmile Canyon, they find Lydia Turpak, who says she won't leave just yet.
We've all sort of banded together to pool our food resources. We all have running water and power. So we're fine, we just can't get down anywhere.
The rescuers tell Turpak to stay put and communicate if she needs help.
We've had other evacuees who, once we've talked to them, explained the situation, they've realized that there is a little bit more danger to them, or that they won't have infrastructure support, and they've decided on their own to get to evacuate.
In Left-Hand Creek, structures have been tossed aside and more roads impassable. Wagon Wheel Gap is crumpled like peanut brittle. A home nearby sits like a stone in a newly carved river.
Mother Nature's pretty strong, and when she decides to do something, she's going to be able to accomplish that.
So again, here in Boulder County, we know that there are no immediate calls for help, but that a grid search is being formulated just to make sure that everybody's accounted for. And if you are in touch with anybody who has chosen to stay in their home, law enforcement is asking that you encourage them to come out. Live here in Boulder, Ashley Walters, 7 News.
Ashley, explain to us a little, or as much as you can tell us about the grid search. You said that they'll be out tonight as well?
Correct, that's possible. What they've been doing all day is gathering all of these details. As you saw there, they've been going door to door, dropping crews into these areas, trying to figure out who is where and if there is anybody who could potentially need help now or in the future. So they need to put all of that information together before they go back out.
All right, Ashley, thank you very much. We want to show you some more video of that drop. The search and rescue teams literally going through. This is up Lee Hill Road, and one of our 7 News photographers, Corey Reppenhagen, went up with this group. They are out of Salt Lake City using dogs, looking for signs of life, literally knocking on every door they can just to make sure that they have made contact with folks. And then, as you can see here, putting a note on the door to let people know that they have made contact, or at least have gone to each facility that they run into, and in hopes that they make contact with folks and allow them the opportunity to leave if they choose. Corey was telling us that this particular group had been at Sandy Hook, New Jersey, that they had been there working after the hurricane, the huge storm that came through there, the superstorm that came through and caused so many problems there, and said these guys thought that this kind of damage was very similar in terms of the amount of devastation we've seen. And in fact, they said that they are going to stay as long as necessary. So we're glad to have them here and helping with so many of our other emergency operations crews that are working nonstop to rescue the thousands who are unaccounted for, or at least those who need rescue. Not necessarily that many unaccounted for. I think that number is closer to about 300 now, but we're waiting to get updated information on the specific numbers. But as you well know, that number changes. We know that there are 7 people who have died in this flooding event over the last couple of days, and but right now still evacuations underway. So as far as specific numbers, that is all very fluid.
Boy, Corey's video from Left Hand Canyon is really quite remarkable. You see the road just falls off there and how much of it is torn up. We've seen so much more of the devastation today because the crews have had good enough weather to actually be able to get back there, and they have taken some of our journalists along with them, and this is what you're seeing now, going along with the crew and watching. Here's a home which has talk about a water feature. This is a water feature you could do without in the front of your house.
Not to mention all the mud and all the debris that has come down. In fact, when we were talking with Corey earlier, he was saying it wasn't so much up above, because these crews were trying to get to higher ground, as high as they could into these canyon areas. But he was saying it was down below, those homes that were down closer to the mouth area, where they saw the most damage. So it was really frustrating when they could get to some of these homes and see not just road damage, but homes just piled up with mud and flooded out. And you could tell by looking into some of these homes how people just rushed to get out and grab what they could.